1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Yeah, who is that guy, by the way? He's been saying that for years and years and years and years. I have no idea. Who is that guy? Hello. Welcome to another one. It's August. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
I'm just off by a few weeks. In the scope of things, that's no big.
Good morning.
Hi, Suze. Here's my sister Susan from Chicago. You've been a little more sedentary. I mean, you've been in Chicago for like at least a month.
I have not moved, and you know what happens? People are all coming into town to see me. I've had nonstop
visitors. But that's what happens when you live in a city like Chicago or New York. Because people are always going to those places, and then...
Yeah, well, but that was part of my plan.
Okay. So you like that? You like...
Well, it's easier than running all over the place to see people if they
right.
come here.
If they come to you. Well, anyway, nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you, too.
Because we haven't talked for a while.
No, we haven't.
Anything going on that you'd like to share with a lot of people? No.
No.
Right, okay, well, fine. Okay, so, Susan, I have to start with an addendum to yesterday's program in which I remembered my 9/11 and my 9/12. I was just sort of, talking about it. And the big thing about my experience of 9/11 was, was that I was on the air for 8 hours straight. 8 hours straight. And I told the story of how Sam, who was then, I think we decided 7 or 8, experienced it because I was on the air. Parents were going to the schools and grabbing their kids and taking them home. And Sam watched as one parent after another came and warmly embraced their child and took them to safety. And he sat, and he sat, and he sat. And by the end, he was there with just one other kid. And his memory of that day is that I guess his mother didn't love him.
Yeah, it was one of abandonment. Oh, jeez.
Well, so I was telling this story, and I'm
like, I have to go back to bed. I'm so depressed.
It seems not to have affected him. You would agree? He seems okay.
I would agree that, in everybody's life a little trauma must fall.
Yeah, right.
And he seems to have weathered it well.
But if you ask him about 9/11, that's the memory.
That's what he remembers, being left all by himself. Oh.
Yeah, being the one who wasn't loved enough. And I told the story again, and I also said that one of the reasons I wasn't... first of all, I couldn't go to get him, but I wasn't calling somebody and say, go get Sam. I wasn't, because the public schools were telling us radio and television people to tell everybody, please leave your kids in place. Leave them. They're fine here. Do not, they were and I think they were right.
Yes, of course.
Okay. So I was relaying that information to people,
And you couldn't very well send someone to get your kid while you're telling everybody to...
Right, I just felt like it was obvious. I mean, what's the big deal? Come on, they'll be fine. Just let them be there.
It's a little scarier in Pittsburgh than in other places.
Because there was a plane so close.
You were very close to the action, yeah.
But finally, I wondered, and I had Jan, my friend, go over and get him, so that he was finally rescued. But so I tell that story, and I get an email, and I got to share the email with you. Hi, Lynn. This is from Mary. I was listening to today's show and heard you saying that your son was upset because you left him in school on 9/11. I was listening to your show that day and heard you say that the school said to not come and get your kids because they're safe and sound where they are. So, I left my kids in school. My son was in high school and he was fine. My daughter is the same age as Sam, and she has never forgiven me. She has never forgiven me for leaving her at school. She, too, saw all of the other parents coming to get their kids and take them home and was upset that I never came. She was just talking about it the other day. I told her it was your fault. Lynn said to leave you in school because you are safe and sound. She says she's almost 25 years old now, and she's still complaining about it. So,
well, that's one talented daughter. She knows she's got that was a big one that's always good for a guilt.
Right.
And she's not giving it up.
No, she will not give it up. But at least...
I would suggest, and excuse me for my sexist response to this whole thing, that is actually a perfect picture of the difference between a daughter and a son.
Really?
Because, my son sort of blows everything off, and my daughter doesn't.
Doesn't. She hangs on to it. But that's not a big enough, Susan. That's two people.
That's not a big enough sample?
No, I don't think so. I got one boy and I got one girl, and here's what...
Girls. And they're both following the rule.
And they're both totally representative of all boys and all girls. Yeah. Well, I mean, Sam... Sam...
Deplorable, yes.
Did you say deplorable?
Yeah, that aren't of the deplorable.
Oh, that aren't of the deplorable. Okay, so now we're to that. I have to say, and I was talking about it yesterday rather incoherently, there's something about that phrase she came up with that just is bothersome to me. What an odd picture you get. Basket of deplorables?
Well, it does sound like something out of a Dr. Seuss book.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Or one of those wonderful movies, animated movies.
Right.
A Pixar film, The Deplorables.
Right, because there was The Invincibles, wasn't there?
Right.
Yep. So the basket of deplorables does not sound, it sounds laughable and or impossible and or I don't know. I mean, it's just such an odd way of saying what she wanted to say, and to say...
Yeah, but if you hear the whole quote, because first she lists who the deplorables are.
No, I think she starts with... she first starts by saying, I'm going to be grossly generalizing here. But she said, I think she said basket of deplorables.
It was first, but then she lists who they are.
Yeah. But... I'm sorry, I'm starting to bite my cuticles on air. That's not smart.
No, that's not good. You're losing yourself.
Well, after so many years, I'm so comfortable on camera that I forget.
You forget, right?
Yeah,
you could be a Kardashian by now.
Right, I could. I'm sorry, I've just got this big hangnail here. It's driving me nuts. Okay, I'll try not to.
I thought you were gonna. Never mind.
No, I'll try not to rip into it. Okay, so the basket of deplorables thing. I mean, first of all, can't take much more of this, Susan. I just want to say I really
know.
can't.
Every day you wake up and go, oh, no, what's going to happen
I know.
today?
I just can't take it.
It's just really...
And you know what? I'm sitting here, and this is the second day now. It was the same yesterday. I have no papers in front of me. I have nothing. Because everything I read in the papers, I am just finished with. I don't want to talk about any of it.
Do you know what made it like the first 10 stories on every single online newspaper that I read? New York Times, Washington Post, St. Louis Post-Dispatch, Wall Street Journal, Chicago Tribune, USA Today.
What?
Dancing with the Stars.
Okay, well, that was now because you are here, don't think I wasn't going to do the Dancing with the Stars thing.
Well, I don't think that I forgot that it was even on last night, but my television just automatically records it. So at 6 o'clock this morning, I zoomed through the whole thing.
Yeah, but you don't see it.
45 minutes.
You don't see what, for those who don't.
You can see it online this morning. It's all over. It was just on the Today Show.
No, but I think that the person this happened live, so the person who's directing the show never showed, the audience does not see.
No, but
the guys.
What I'm saying is that there is footage now out there.
Of people rushing the stage?
Yes.
Oh.
2 guys.
Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, Dancing with the Stars, was this the kickoff?
No, he was the second to the last. They saved the Olympians for the last.
No. I'm saying this is the first show of the season.
This is the first show.
Okay. And Ryan Lochte, the disgraced swimmer, is on Dancing with the Stars. And after he got done dancing and he and his partner go over to, have the judges tell him what they thought, Susan, you saw it, some guys...
Well, 2 guys rushed the stage. They were wearing white T-shirts with Lochte written on top in a red circle with a line through it. I'm not clear what they were protesting, whether they were...
just protesting him. That's it.
Yes, but whether whether it was their country or whether they just thought it was disgusting that Lochte was on the show, which I sort of do. But I wouldn't, I can think of more important things to protest.
Stop and think, Susan, of the basket of deplorables who have been on that show over the years.
One of whom was on Rick Perry.
Yeah, right. Nobody protested Rick Perry.
No, because that squirrel went so far out on a limb that he fell off all by himself. He was it was as cringeworthy as you would expect.
God. Well,
and surprise, surprise, the little gymnast is the best.
There's a gymnast?
Oh, yeah, one of the final 5. The cute one, the emoji face, whatever her name is.
I have no idea. She was one of the gymnasts this year?
Yeah, the youngest one, the 16-year-old with the wide set
Hernandez?
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, with the emoji face.
Well,
now I understand what you're saying. Do they? Because she's got this big round face and big eyes.
What they call her, the human emoji.
And she was a good dancer.
She was wonderful.
Oh, great.
It was surprise.
Because athletes often aren't. But I guess, and in gymnasts,
they never look all of that.
They don't look like balletic. They always look sort of strange.
Russians sort of did, but the Americans don't go there, and they also always look sort of awkward, even doing these
like floor exercises. I agree.
Yeah, but she danced beautifully, as might be expected. And,
okay. But so your thing about all these newspapers had the Ryan Lochte story as just relief
on anything, just for relief, right? I couldn't believe how much play it got. And let's talk about this, because it's vaguely newsworthy.
People can't take much more anymore.
No, and and the other good news was that the Rams are as bad as in L.A. as they were in St.
Oh, I forgot. So
they're welcome to them.
So you guys don't have a football team?
No, but we got the Blues and we got the Cardinals, and I think we can survive on that.
I forgot. So St. Louis does not have a football team.
No, and they're stuck with this, stadium that they still have 15 years to pay on. One of those things.
Wait a minute. St. Louis built the stadium recently to keep them there.
To get them there.
To get them there,
and they stayed for I think 12 years. And
well. Listen, 12 years, that's time for a new stadium.
15 more, there's a lot more years on the mortgage, and there's a big empty eyesore in the middle of the downtown, and
I think we're still paying for Three Rivers Stadium.
Yeah, but you got
yeah, but no, it's been gone for years too.
Right.
And replaced by another one, Heinz Field. And I mean, it's in perpetuity that taxpayers buy these.
I don't understand how this because the economic benefit actually isn't really there.
No, not that great.
I mean, when they do all of these analyses, it's really not there.
Exactly true. Exactly true.
And St. Louis threw in an extra, several million in the attempt to keep Frankie there.
Oh God, what a. So there were 2 Monday Night Football games last night.
There were?
Yeah, that was the second one.
You mean, when did they start, or when did they end?
Well, they realized they've got an East Coast and they got a West Coast, so why not get two?
One starts at 6 and the next.
No, one started at 7 and was done by 10. So when did you start watching that? At 8?
I didn't watch it.
Oh, you don't know.
I wasn't watching anything. I wasn't watching anything that I should be watching.
Oh,
I was actually reading last night.
Oh my God! What a radical thing. No, so the first Monday Night Football game was actually the Steelers. They were on, and I loved that they were on Monday Night Football, and you could watch a game and go to bed at a reasonable hour.
Mm-hmm.
And they beat the crap out of the Redskins. Yes!
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
He's young, but that's very good.
And I really... Oh, okay. Now, speaking of that, since everything's just going to be a stream.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you my story first, speaking of that.
Okay, but then wait. I got to write it down because I'll forget.
Okay, write it down. Mine is real short. It's about the Green Bay Packers.
Wait, I've already forgotten! Shit! Wait a minute.
Think.
What were we talking about?
Football. Steelers winning. Speaking of that, you said.
Fuck.
I said the season is early, and you said thinking of that. All right. Well, I'll tell my story while you think. I've told.
I got it. Okay, never mind. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. That there is a bar called Will's Northwoods Bar right around the corner from my house, and they do all things Wisconsin, and it's a great corner bar, I have to say.
Well,
it's among the best.
It's a neat place.
I was walking the dog Sunday morning at 8:00 in the morning, and when I tell you the line to get into Will's at 8:00 on Sunday morning for the Packer game at noon was down the street and around the corner.
That's unbelievable, and especially because this is Chicago, where the Packers are the hated team in Chicago.
Well, but not so as you'd notice, because as I'm walking the dog and I see everybody in Packer gear all flowing towards me like they're going to Lambeau Field. And then it was a gorgeous day, so I opened my windows, and sure enough, it sounds like I'm right down the street from Lambeau Field. I'm hearing them screaming and ooming, and they're...
Well, isn't that nice? It makes you feel right at home.
Yeah. Okay.
Then that makes me think of... I saw this picture of these beautiful Indians, Native Americans, at the protests that are going on in North Dakota or South Dakota?
I think it's North Dakota.
I can't keep those Dakotas straight. Okay,
I can't either. Well, the North Dakota is north of South Dakota.
That I know. That's the one thing I know. Where's Fargo, in north or south?
North.
It is?
I think.
Name a city in South Dakota.
Can't.
Me either. Name any other city in the Dakotas.
Yeah, what's the capital of South Dakota?
Well, how do you know Fargo's the capital? I don't think Fargo's the capital of North Dakota.
No, but we only know Fargo because of the movie.
Oh, yeah. So, geez, name a city. Wait, I got Bismarck.
Bismarck is the capital of...
North. No, South. South Dakota. Maybe. Name another city. I can't. Wow.
I can't either.
This is why, I try out for Jeopardy online all the time. They have a test, that you can take. And I just got a thing today that the next online test is coming up. And one of the reasons I would not want to be on Jeopardy is if the geography came up, I'd be dead.
But that's just one line.
Or state capitals.
Well, if you knew you were going to be on Jeopardy,
I'd study.
And memorize the state capitals
Maybe.
in 20 seconds.
I don't know about that. We have a call. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
It's Lori in Frick Park.
Oh, hi, Lori.
Pierre, South Dakota, I think.
Oh, Pierre, like Pierre. Pierre.
Right. And Sioux Falls is another city there.
That's right, Sioux Falls. Good for you.
My grandfather was from Wimbledon, North Dakota.
Well, nobody knows that one.
No. I think there's 10 people there.
Okay, so the capital of North Dakota is Pierre?
No, South Dakota.
And the capital of North Dakota is?
I believe it's Bismarck.
It is Bismarck. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Well, I hope they're right.
Well, you might be. It sounds sort of kind of right.
But it's definitely right for which state they're in. Whether
Okay.
they're the capital, but I think Pierre is the capital.
Okay.
Anyway, okay.
Thank you. Back to your walk.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, so here's what's awful. I mean, I used to know all the state capitals,
Did
and
you?
that doesn't even sound familiar.
Yeah. Listen to that. Did that sound like Fargo or not? Yeah.
I know, and it gets worse. It just pours out of me.
I know a weird one. Montpelier. What's that? The capital of?
Vermont.
Good for you. See, you said Vermont. Like everybody knows that.
Well, I thought we were in the Dakotas.
No, but I all of a sudden thinking of you never hear anything about Montpelier. The only reason I know that name is I guess that's still sticking there. But there's some other ones that are weird, including like your state of Missouri. The only two cities that anybody knows in Missouri are St. Louis and Kansas City, right?
And Jefferson City is the capital.
And Jefferson City.
And Springfield in
Illinois. People don't know. Mm-hmm. That is correct. Do you? I bet Pennsylvania is one of those ones that people. Why would anybody know? Do you know our capital?
I think I do, but wait a minute. I'm blanking on it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't blame you. Harrisburg.
Okay. Yeah, and I knew that. Shame on me.
Well,
I was just beginning to feel better because I came up with Vermont.
no, but if we were to run through them, you and I, even between us, would do abysmally. Abysmally, I can tell.
Harley, excuse me, my son just texted me, Pierre.
Little late there.
No, I just saw it.
But I think it's pronounced Pierre? Yeah, Pierre. God. Okay, give me a state.
Montana.
Butte?
I think so.
No, it's just the only city I could think of.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it's not Butte. I flew into Butte. It's
Is Helena in Montana?
No, that's Washington.
What's the capital of Montana?
And I know this one, too.
Really?
Yes, because I was just there, and it's where the university is, and...
There's actually a University of Montana?
Yes, and most of this, and very affordable education, and just about everybody in the state uses part of that system. It's really sort of wonderful.
So it's a good state. It's a good state system.
Well, there's 5 people in it, so it works.
There's lots of cows, though. Okay, so we don't know. We don't know anything. It's amazing. Okay, okay. My story that I thought of when we were talking about football was, now this is a little bit out there, but I don't even know. Did I say this on the air yesterday? I was maybe afraid to, but it occurred to me that Hillary Clinton, when she became ill, it's Helena.
Yeah, Arlie just wrote.
It's Helena, Montana.
Yeah.
Maybe you're thinking Mount St. Helens.
I am. Which is in Washington.
Oh God, let's get off it because we're humiliating ourselves. Yeah, we're humiliating ourselves here. Okay, so here's the
Olympia is Washington.
Okay. Well, okay, and then Oregon?
I'll give you California, Sacramento.
I knew that one. I'm just trying to finish up the West Coast. Oregon? Is that, is Portland?
Yeah, maybe. No, I don't think that's the capital, though.
So it's weird, though. So these capitals are like, nobody knows them. Not that we should. Often they're situated like in the middle. Huh?
We used to know them.
Maybe. But I think often they're situated in the middle of a state, right? So that they could be, equidistant for everybody who had to travel or something. I think that's how Harrisburg ended up with it, isn't it? Never been there myself. Anyway, screw it. So when Hillary fell ill, and before we knew that it was pneumonia, and I saw her collapsing into the van and stuff, here's what I thought. Geez, I wonder if she's being poisoned.
Listen, I
Yeah?
thought of all sorts of things. I mean, what do we know? Putin's involved.
That's exactly right. Putin's involved. Hey, we've got a call. Hello?
Lynn, if you Google third grade geography, you get a map of the states with no names, and you get to see in 3 minutes if you can match the names to the states.
Well, obviously we can't.
Salem
But it's
is
fun.
Okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Third grade, huh?
Third grade geography.
All right.
Bye.
Stab to the heart. Bye.
Well, no, that explains why we've had so many years to forget.
Jeez. So anyway, I thought Putin doesn't want her in the White House. Putin's already messing with the this isn't and that. What is Putin has a certain bag of tricks that he uses, and one of them is poisoning
killing people.
Right. So I thought, oh my God, they're poisoning her. So listen, here's what's weird. Now, why talking about football would I come up with, I wanted to say that I thought Hillary might be poisoned. This blew me away. The Washington Post today had a story. Headline, the man who discovered CTE, that's the chronic traumatic encephalopathy that is eating away the brains of football players.
Yeah.
The man who discovered CTE thinks Hillary Clinton may have been poisoned. And that's Dr. Bennett Amalu. And there's his picture. And he tweeted when he saw her go down, he said, I must advise the Clinton campaign to perform toxicologic analysis on Ms. Clinton's blood. It is possible she is being poisoned. That was his.
Right. Well, that's before we knew she had pneumonia, but that doesn't mean she isn't being poisoned.
That's right. I mean, in an era of, anything ludicrous that you come up with turns out being true. Anything unthinkable turns out being true. I mean, it just occurred to me. Now, do I think she's being poisoned? No. Do I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to test her blood? No. Was that a negative? Do I think it would?
Negative, yes. Do
Yes.
you think it would be a good idea to test her blood?
Yes.
That's much easier.
Yeah, right.
Do I not think it would not be a good idea not to do it?
Yeah. So everybody said, "Oh, come on," but he didn't back down because the Washington Post says Amalu, whose credentials and tenacity are well known, did not back down, and he said, "I do not trust Mr. Putin or Mr. Trump. With those two, all things are possible."
Yeah.
Bennett Amalu, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy. So yeah, I mean, I had that same, and then when the news came out that it was pneumonia, I thought, okay, well, maybe not, but I would not put anything past these guys in this election. We've got a call. Hello.
Hey, Lynn, it's Mike in D.C.
Hi, Mike.
So about Hillary being poisoned. It's interesting you say that because if Putin was poisoning her, who would be the first to know? Which would be Trump. And Trump has been laying down this whole thing that she's sick, even before she got...
Yeah! I remember thinking, why are they doing this? There's no evidence that she's sick. And because that started up almost a month ago.
Right.
So you're saying if she's slowly being poisoned...
Well, that was because of the falls and the concussion.
What do you mean falls? There was one where she tripped on a stair.
There was a bad fall, so that's what...
One bad fall leading to a concussion.
Right.
But that was years and years and years ago.
No, a few years.
But he's setting up the narrative that she's sick.
Which is why, Mike, she was not forthcoming when she was diagnosed with pneumonia, because she said, "Oh, damn it. This is going to play right into what he's been saying, that I'm somehow sick or weak," which is really what made her want to plow through it.
Well,
it was, and the other thing is it's no time to be sick.
Not to sound like a feminist, but that women are taught you don't get to be sick, you have kids and you have to go to work, so
right.
plow through.
That's true, too.
The husband that gets to lay at home in bed and not do anything, and the wife take care of everything.
Yeah, there's a truth there, too.
Play that card, quite honestly.
But so you thought, did you really think
when he
that?
announced it, that what's he setting up? It just came out of, I think it came out of nowhere. But who would know more? Who would Putin be the first one to tell?
But Putin wouldn't tell him anything.
Yes, he would.
No, he wouldn't.
Because he wants Trump to win.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Dynamic.
He doesn't want to have that one-on-one kind of relationship with him. No. But, I mean, if you were doing a conspiracy theory, that is good.
Right. Or that he's really sick.
Or that he's really sick.
Republicans are good at that, too.
Well, because he does a lot of this projection, calling her a hater, calling her unqualified, calling her temperamentally unfit for the office. I mean, everything he tends to say about her is really true about him. So you're saying when he's talking about her being sick, maybe we should realize that he might be sick.
Yeah.
He certainly is not in good shape. I mean, he doesn't have any exercise in his life at all, and I don't think
for women.
I don't think he eats right.
He smokes.
No, he doesn't smoke.
Vodka.
No, he doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke.
Drink. He's abstemious because he had an alcoholic
brother. Yeah, he does not do any stimulants like that. He might do pharmaceuticals. We don't know.
But I heard. No, I'm kidding. But the most interesting theory going around now is that the woman that came out on Sunday afternoon, the Hillary that came out on Sunday afternoon out of Chelsea's house, isn't hers.
Oh, is that what that body double stuff I keep seeing?
Yes.
They're saying the woman who emerged from Chelsea's and said, "I'm feeling great and it's a wonderful day," was not Hillary Clinton?
Correct. It's this woman. There is a real woman who goes around the country pretending to be Hillary, and part of it is her fault apparently because she said, "Ha ha, I guess I'm in New York today," right? When she was really in Los Angeles. So it has blown up.
Wait a minute. There really is a woman?
Well, of course, there's always impersonators whenever anybody.
Oh, but it's not anybody that the Hillary camp employs.
No.
Yeah,
Not
okay.
that we know of, right. So
Jeez.
that's where they're going now. And someone said online that the Hillary camp pushed this story to take the focus away from that she had died.
That she died? You mean she's not even... She
is
died?
dying, yeah.
Well, there
She
wasn't
is
there a
dying.
movie like that they replaced the candidate with a doppelganger because the president died. It was a comedy.
It was a comedy. Well, this is a farce. I don't know. I guess that's under comedy, too. Oh, my God.
Have you been to the new Trump Hotel in D.C.?
Yeah, Mike.
No, I've not. I've seen it in pictures, but no, I've not.
So that was the old Washington, D.C. main post office building.
Yeah.
And Trump somehow got it and made it into a hotel.
I wonder if
Well,
he
he
paid
needs
those
somewhere
guys.
to live.
Yeah, well, yeah, Susan's saying I wonder if he paid for it. I mean, he doesn't use his own money for anything.
No, this is financed out of Germany, the Deutsche Bank.
That's the only major bank that will lend to him.
Mm-hmm.
And what's that about? Huh.
Well, he needs somewhere to live because he's not going to live in that dump of a White House. Mark my words, he's not going to live there.
What do you mean he's not going to live there because he ain't going to get elected?
Well, if he were to get elected, he's not going to live in that dump. In a four-bedroom unit above
His office?
Floor?
Well, but that's sort of what he does now, doesn't he? Lives in...
I don't think it's...
It is a bit spare for what his tastes are. That's true.
There's no gold leaf.
No. Well, maybe he could install, solid gold faucets and things. Make himself feel at home.
Because we know he doesn't use his own.
Oh, my God. All right.
He needs what?
Susan said...
He doesn't use his own money. So, for anything.
Oh, yeah.
For anything. And you know this thing, I really think I so hate the media now. I'll never ever ever forgive them for.
No, how do they spend all their time on Hillary's foundation and not
anything
on his?
And the fact that, I mean, stop and think. He's never released his damn tax returns. Every candidate in modern history has. How did that just then go away? He just says, I won't, and that's it.
Or his health exam. I mean,
right.
that letter from his doctor.
Oh, the doctor.
Was crazy.
Yeah, who looks like he's insane. Oh, my God.
Dr. God, he's going to be on Dr. Oz. And Dr. Oz is going to give him...
Isn't that something? So that's what Donald Trump does. He's going on Dr. Oz. This is...
Seriously, you couldn't make this...
No, you can't make this up. This is farce. The problem is our damn country. It's our country. Oh, man.
And the fourth estate is lazy. Everybody wants their job to be easier. And the fourth estate, the media, is just lazy. They don't have to work with Trump.
You know, somebody, Joe Ellen asked me in an email if I watched Samantha Bee last night. I damn well should have. I intended to, then forgot about it. And she apparently just took everybody down, especially the media. And said, you know, I saw it somewhere, the one line from her, that something about, what if it's not your job to say this is true and that is bullshit, then what the hell is your job? I didn't mean to scream at all of you.
It's okay. It's a question that there's no answer.
Well, there is an answer. That is what the media is supposed to be doing, isn't it?
at least you can have a follow-up question with, then how do you explain that on this date you previously said X? Or how do you explain that, fact checkers say that this is in fact the truth?
Why can't you just say...
Follow-up question.
Yeah, but if it is simply not true, he repeats things that are flat out not true. If it is not true, why doesn't a journalist, a reporter, a moderator, just simply say, that is not true?
Because it takes work and because their editor doesn't want them to. They make money off of this. And they want to keep access to this.
This aids and abets the candidacy of a dangerous man who's doing untold damage to this country.
And that's what I want to ask the fourth estate is, don't you have families? Don't you have kids? Is this who you want your kid to be the president for the next 8 years? And then it's not over there. If Trump wins, they're going to run baby Trump and the next Trump and the next Trump. We're going to be Trumps forever.
What are you saying? That his kids are going to run?
Yes. They're going to make the kid that killed the leopard the Secretary of Defense, marking their words. And then after Trump's done running, they're going to run that one. Someone on Bill said we're either going to elect the first female president or the last president. This is his hero. What did Putin do? He's going to do exactly what Putin did.
Yeah, it ain't going to be as easy here. I mean, at some point, no, he's not. This tangerine nightmare. This God. Okay, that's it. Mike, you're upsetting me. Goodbye.
Bye.
Shit. Susan.
I know. We can't get there fast enough.
So, okay.
I just keep thinking she's got to be further ahead than we know. She's just got to be.
I don't know.
Because, the latest thing that I've been seeing is people saying, don't worry, the 8 million expats that can still vote are so horrified that they can control the election if we can just get them to vote. Going, if that's what we're relying on, we're in trouble.
Yeah, well, geez. By the way, speaking of voting, I found out something that I did not realize. When it comes to whether or not people who have been convicted of crimes can vote, different states have different rules.
Right.
And I just want to let everybody out there know that if you have been convicted of a crime and have, I believe... A felony. Right, a felony. And served your time, you can vote in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You have
register.
You have to serve your time, but then you can be on probation. That's okay too. You can still vote. And I don't know if people know that. Spread the word to all your ex-con friends.
Well, isn't Terry McAuliffe in Virginia?
In Virginia, yeah.
It has been working very hard on making sure that people are granted their rights again to vote.
It doesn't make sense. If you do the punishment
affects, guess who it disproportionately
let me think.
Because who are we locking up?
I believe that might be black males.
Yeah, so it disenfranchises half of black males.
Yeah. So I forgot to tell you, Susan, the way we ended up in the Dakotas earlier in the program, because you were talking about the Packer Bar in Chicago.
Right.
There was this picture of these magnificent-looking Native American men, and they were like walking toward the camera. And some of them had, traditional headdresses on. And one had just a stocking cap pulled over his head, and it said Green Bay. And I just wanted to say, hey, way to go. He's probably in Oneida.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Or maybe he's just a Packer fan. can't generalize. I've learned that because
No.
you live in as many different places as I have that are not Green Bay Packer places. I see an awful lot of people sporting the colors.
Yeah, that's true. I've even seen some here, and Steelers fans are known for also traveling well. They're all over the place. There's Steeler bars in cities all over the country and world. But the other team that has that a lot is the Packers.
Oh, yeah.
It's those two. Barbara has done some research about the new Trump Hotel in D.C., if you were thinking of staying there, okay?
Yeah, there's a whole article on it, yeah.
Yeah, the hotels on a weeknight, the least expensive room. You need a room on a Tuesday.
700 and something. Yeah.
$735 per night. Okay.
And I swear the article that I read says they actually sell wine by the teaspoon.
Come on!
No, it said you
Come
can go to the bar for a spoonful of wine. And I mean, and I thought that was hyperbole, but they repeated it twice in the article.
And what does a spoonful of wine cost?
I have no idea.
Why would you want a spoonful of wine?
I don't know. It ain't enough for me.
And Barbara says, okay, so it's $735 for the worst room on a weekday at the Trump Hotel, and the other luxury hotels in D.C., you can get a room for $400 a night. Or $300 at the historic Willard Hotel. Those are both historic, actually, hotels. But the Willard I know because it figures, if you read anything about Lincoln, especially Lincoln's presidency, an awful lot went on at the Willard. In a filing with the General Services Administration, lawyers for one of Trump's competitors argued that for Trump's hotel to stay afloat, it would have to charge some of the most exorbitant rates in the nation's capital.
Right, and Ivanka said, nah, not going to happen, and it came back more.
Okay, so they have, this is what a smart businessman he is. He's then built a hotel that that in order to not go under, he's got to, charge twice as much as any other hotel is charging? Why would anybody go there?
Well, plus he soiled his brand so badly that I would wager that people like you and me wouldn't stay there even if we could afford it.
Well, that's true. I would never stay at any Trump property.
No,
Absolutely
somebody was
true.
in town last weekend saying, I heard the bar at the Trump, building here is really good. And 3 out of the 4 of us looked at her and said, we aren't going there.
No. Totally agree.
Right. So you've got at least, half the country that wouldn't stay there on a bet.
So yeah, really.
It doesn't matter. He'll just go bankrupt.
And other people will take the hit.
And other people will take the hit.
So again, the Washington Post did a very interesting story about Donald Trump's charity, or lack thereof. But the fact is that he has a family foundation, the Trump Foundation, and I don't know if you've seen this reporting, Susan, but it is disgusting what he does with his foundation. What he does, let's say, okay, so he has a foundation. It's supposed to be a charity. He goes and gets other people to give his foundation money. Then he turns that gift to him over to another charity and gets credit for having made a charitable contribution when he's just passing other people's money through. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. And he's funding his foundation after he established it with other people's money, and then taking credit for what the foundation gives out, which is mostly other people's money. He also does things with it that are totally inappropriate.
Like
giving money to the Florida AG.
Which you cannot do. Family foundations cannot in any way do that. So his foundation is always getting fined for this, that, and the other thing. Does this get attention? No. Just the Clinton Foundation, which actually does help people and has been rated 4-star by Charity Navigator, which is a tough thing to do. Over 85% of every penny that comes into the Clinton Foundation goes out to do a job, the mission.
Right. Part of the mission is to get countries who don't necessarily get along talking to each other. So, how they've managed to turn, diplomacy along with, benefit into something terrible, I don't know.
Well, exactly.
George Bush Sr. and Clinton did a lot of work together with his foundation.
Right. So the Trump Foundation, the Post says, is not like other charities. An investigation, including examinations of 17 years of its tax filings, which had to have been made available, and interviews with more than 200 people listed as donors or beneficiaries, found that the Trump Foundation collects and spends money in a very unusual manner. For one thing, nearly all of its money comes from people, as Susan said, other than Trump. In tax records, the last gift that Trump gave to his foundation was in, and most foundations, if it's the Trump Family Foundation, it's the Trumps who are feeding it. It's their money. That's not what he does.
Can I interrupt with breaking news?
Oh dear.
It's good.
Oh good.
U.S. middle-class incomes grew faster in 2015 than any year in modern history. New census data show.
You mean percentage-wise?
Well,
You're kidding.
I'm just saying. We have been in an up spiraling.
No, the country's coming apart at the seams, Susan. That's what.
Okay. Go on with what you were saying. I just wanted to.
That's nice.
Yeah, point that out because none of us would think that was
bad news. Well, Trump would.
Even true.
Right. Because of what we've been led by media
Republicans
to
tell
think
us that it's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So Trump takes money from other people. They say this is almost unheard of for a family foundation. He takes money and does with it whatever he wants. In many cases, I said before, he passes it through to other charities, which are under the impression that, of course, this is Trump's money that they're getting, and then he gets honored by them for his incredible generosity when not one penny has left his pocket. And in 2 cases, he has used money from his charity to buy himself stuff. Have you seen the portrait? He spent $20,000 of his foundation's money to buy a 6-foot-tall portrait of him.
Well, where's the IRS?
I don't know.
I mean, there are very strict rules about this sort
of
stuff. And as far as I can tell, they sure watch other family foundations very carefully, to make sure that they're doing the right thing.
Trump's foundation appears to have repeatedly broken IRS rules. He doesn't file accurate paperwork. My God, he's just a crook.
Yeah, oh, yeah, right.
Okay, we got a call. Hello.
Hey, Lynn.
Yeah.
Hey, Lynn, love the sperm shirt. Love it.
You like my sperm shirt?
I do.
Thank you. 3 little sperms. Is that all you called to say? You like my sperm shirt?
And I also like what you're talking about Trump. Just on a funnier note, I like how he's always against China and Mexico, except when he wants to sell his own products.
That's right.
Our country.
That's right.
On a personal basis. I mean, let's forget about all the politics. Let's just look at his personal. What's he do with his personal life, and then how does that correlate to truthful he is. I mean, if you can't, I mean, how can you tell people not to? It boggles my mind how people would vote for somebody who has products that he sells he makes them manufactured in China and Mexico, and meanwhile he's the big bully against these two countries, talking like he's going to put trade barriers up, and we can't, they're taking all of our jobs away.
Yeah.
It themselves personally. What the
I don't. It's that kind of stuff, that Clinton ad that's out there with Trump appearing on the David Letterman show.
That's the best.
I know, and Letterman's.
I don't know where it's made.
Letterman shows a Trump tie, says, "Nice tie you're selling. Where's that made?" And Trump said, "I don't know." And he says, Letterman says, "China," and he says, "Eh." Trump says, "Yeah, sure." Then, nice shirt you got here. Where's that made? Oh yeah, sweet. And so, absolutely didn't bat an eye that that all his stuff is made overseas.
And not only overseas, the country he's talking
that he demonizes.
China and Mexico, and that's where they're made from.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I don't understand. But I guess, I mean, in his school, how about his crappy school that he had where he's ripping everybody off? We don't want to even hear about that anymore.
No, we don't. It's just beyond belief.
Everything. Like I said,
yeah, I hear you.
Great show today, guys. It's fun to listen. I'll be glad when it's over, though. I'm tired of hearing about it every time Hillary has a cold or something happens to her. She gets this cold. That's it. Hillary's dying.
Jeez. God help us. Just God help us. I mean, you know how time flies when you're having fun? We are not having fun.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Your laughter, at least, is helpful.
He's having fun.
Yeah, you're having fun. Bye. Susan, this article on the foundation, his foundation, is mind-blowing. And it goes into a lot of detail. And you're right, how the IRS... You'll also be stunned to know that there's next to no money in the foundation. Now, if you're Donald Trump and you're a gazillionaire, wouldn't you think his foundation would have just tons of money in it? At last count...
One would think if only as a tax dodge.
Yes, but at last count, as far as anyone knows, the Trump Foundation has $1.3 million.
Okay, so they're required to give away about $60,000.
That's all. That means that you don't give $1.3 million away. If you've got $1.3 million, he has by law to give away probably. You're right, Sue's right, about $60,000 a year.
60 to 70,000, yeah.
Big deal.
Big deal.
Oprah Winfrey, on the other hand, who, according to Trump, is worth less than her.
Than him.
Has her foundation, and her foundation has $242 million in the bank. The Clinton Foundation, $444 million. That's what real foundations and charities look like. It ain't 1.3 mil. Not if you're Trump.
No, enough of he actually gave prizes to the apprentices, out of that foundation. When he said, "I'm personally going to give you blah blah blah,"
out of his foundation,
money came out of the foundation.
Well, how is that? That's got to be. That's not a charity. That's not a.
No.
It's a slush fund.
No.
It's a slush fund.
Yes.
And you wonder why this guy doesn't want us to see his tax returns.
Well,
I mean,
what his tax returns are going to show that he pays very little tax.
None, probably.
And that's because there are all sorts of
dodges,
tax advantages available to people that
right.
build and own commercial real estate.
That's true. And he knows how to play that game.
And he knows how to play that game. So
he doesn't want people to know.
Show it. If it's legal, show it. That would be proof you're a good businessman. If it's legal, show it. Justify it. What are you hiding?
Well, he's also hiding that he doesn't have the money he says he has.
Well, of course.
And he's also hiding that he's in hock to Russia, to Russian oligarchs.
Yeah, that his net worth is significantly less than what he says. If you subtract out what he owes on all this stuff.
Yeah, he's
and he also does accounts funny. He will count all of these things that he says he owns in his, in when he tells you that he's a multi-billionaire. But then when you tell him that there's debt that goes along with it, he goes, well, those aren't really my those are partnership those are. Well, no, it's either yours or it's not.
right. It's only his when it serves his purposes.
It's only his when it goes to his, to what he wants to boast about. It's not his when it refers to any obligation.
We have an email from Ray. Ladies, one of the many things I will never understand about women is their apparent lack of solidarity. Boy, is that true. Count me in on that one.
Yeah.
The latest instance is this election. I can assure you that if the first 44 presidents were women, and this year a man was nominated, he would get 99% of the male vote. Black, white, and brown. Ray says, is it a case of Stockholm Syndrome? You people are over, I almost wrote you guys. You people are over half the population. And this whole untrustworthy bullshit has nothing to do with Hillary particularly. The predatory media have created a culture of distrust since Bill Clinton was elected. Those untrustworthy polls would indict anyone, they suggested. So here's now who we don't trust. We no longer trust politicians, priests, rabbis, imams, police, mailmen, dog watchers, parents, children, spouses, and at least... Yes, and at last, hoisted by their own petard, the media themselves. So, Ray writes, welcome to Bedlam.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been screaming this forever.
That's right. When
about Hillary.
You go out of your way, as media has, and as the Republicans have, to demonize every institution, every profession, everything, then people are left in this enraged, inarticulatable bedlam.
Well, and when you print lies as truth and don't examine it. I mean, they couldn't have done the job that was done on Hillary if they didn't faithfully report as they spewed them out each time, each Republican lie about her. And you can't take all that back. You can't say, later, oh, well, turns out that wasn't true. Oh, well, turns out there's nothing here, folks. Go ahead.
That's right, but that
and every single one of those things is, it's upsetting to me, and I don't even know where to begin with people when I say this is all bull. And they come back, oh, yeah, well, what about those emails? Well, what about those emails?
Oh, I'm so sick of it. I am so
sick about it. Tell me what national security secret was leaked in any of those emails.
Show me what damage was done.
Show me what...
To anybody other...
You go into court and try and sue on these things, and you get thrown out because, oops, no damage.
There's nothing there. Oh, well. Okay, Suze. Well, did I get your blood pressure up?
Oh, yeah, you did. It just pisses me off, and I thoroughly agree. And where are you, women, you post-feminists, you? Screw you all.
Suze,
haters.
Suze, I want you to take Ernie, take the dog, walk around to the Packer bar around the corner and have a stiff drink.
Have a beer.
Yes. Okay. It'll be good for you.
Okay, I'll calm down. Maybe I'll just take a Xanax. Okay, goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye. Wait, she worked herself. That's good. She worked herself up. I feel fine. Okay, guys. Tomorrow, I'll see you again. I hope. Bye-bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.